Hey guys, today I have a product review video for you. The nice people at Chalkola reached out to me and asked if I would be interested in trying out their new or newish line of chalk markers, and I said yes. The markers that they sent me are water-based, non-toxic chalk markers. So basically that means that they are wet white markers. And these markers actually have been really useful. Now, not this particular brand because I'm actually trying this brand for the first time, but the wet white markers themselves are really useful in the classroom. As many of you guys know, I am a teacher, and one of the things that I love about wet erase markers is that kids can't erase their answers before I see them because they have to wait for me to give them a wet towel. But anyways, I have the markers here that they sent, and I have the Platinum Series markers and the regular premium wet white markers, and these are meant to work on whiteboards, mirrors, plastics, chalkboard, ceramic, glass, basically non-porous surfaces. As far as I can tell, both markers are the same. It's just that this one is really for writing on like windows because these markers are really big. So to try out on my dry erase board, I'm going to use the premium wet ones. And I have a black dry erase board. And these are the ones that my students love just because they're not the traditional white. They get a kick out of anything that's not the norm. Now, there are specific directions on the back of these markers, and I'm going to follow them just to make sure, or just so we can say that the directions do work. Now, they were very honest when they sent me the markers, and they let me know in advance that they do have to be prepped, which are the directions here on the back, and that on some chalkboards, so like not necessarily a hard non-porous surface, like those nice pre-done chalkboards you get at Hobby Lobby or like at the dollar spot at Target, it is difficult to erase these because it's actually because those boards are not non-porous. But anyways, we're going to go ahead and get started with these markers, and I think I'm going to use the pink, the purple, the yellow, and the green. There is a black in here, but since I'm using a black board, it's not going to work. But eventually I'll end up doing all the rest of the colors in a photo so you can see what they look like. So it says that you have to go ahead and shake the marker for 30 seconds. And it also says to press the tip to and fro, that's literally what it says, multiple times to get the ink flowing, recap tightly after use, and store in a horizontal position. So basically it's like a glue pen. If any of you have ever used a glue pen, you have to like pump it up and down to get the glue running. Seems like it's the same thing. So I'm going to go ahead and shake this with the cap on for 30 seconds and then push and see if it goes straight into writing. Okay, so my marker is finally ready and I can see ink coming out. It does take quite a bit of pumping to get the ink flowing in these. The good thing about that, honestly though, is that you won't have marker explosion. And I have experienced that with chalk markers where you get them and you open them and they say that you have to prime them, but the ink is already in the well and you pull it off and then ink goes flying everywhere. So I'm happy to say it takes longer to prime, but if you are concerned about getting ink everywhere, that's actually a good thing. So let's see how it writes. I'm going to go ahead and erase that. And it erased clean, as you can see. So let's see how smooth this ink is. So it's pretty good in terms of ink flow. And you can apply quite a bit of pressure without the tip going back in, which I also like. And obviously, as you can see here, the ink shows up really well on dark surfaces. So I'm going to go ahead and recap this particular marker, and I'm going to go through and prep all the other colors that I pulled out. Or actually, you know what? I will prep all of the markers and I will show you what the colors look like on a dark surface. Here's a sample of all the colors, all written out, with the exception of black. Because I'm writing on a black board, you're not going to be able to see it. But if the black ink is anything like all the rest of them, it should be just as easy to prep and smooth flowing ink. And this is a true wet erase. And like I said, I really like this as a classroom teacher because students are so fixated most of the time on getting the right answer that they don't let me see what was wrong, and they hurry up and they try to erase it and fix it. So I like wet erase markers because it makes them wait for me to see it, because I have to bring them something to wipe it with. But anyways, I'm going to go ahead and show you really quickly what the Platinum Series, the bigger marker, looks like. This marker has a really big tip, and I think it's really for writing on really big signs or on car windows, because the ingredient list looks the same. So it should be the same formulation as these. It's just the tip is a lot bigger. But I'm going to go ahead and erase this and show you what it looks like on the board. So here you can see a sample of the wider marker, and it works just the same as the bullet point. It's just that it has a much bigger tip. So the tip on this is much, much, much wider than the other marker. And the barrel itself is much bigger. Like I said, this would be really good for writing on windows or really big LED signs if you have a big LED sign. So far the uses I've mentioned have kind of been limited to like classroom stuff, but you definitely could use those on all those little cute chalkboard signs that you find at Michael's and Joann's and like the dollar spot at Target. I plan on using mine for a couple of craft projects, so it'll definitely come in handy at some point for that. Now, this is not erasing as clean as the other markers did, or the other writing samples I did, and it's simply because I didn't let the ink dry. When the ink is dry, it erases really clean and easy, but when the ink is still wet, you get a little bit of a mess like this, which is no big deal, but just something you guys should know about. The other product that Chalkola sent me was these chalkboard labels. And chalkboard labels are really popular on like mason jars and for kitchen organization. So I'm curious to see if these are erasable. I actually don't know. Oh, that's exactly what I was talking about. You can see right there in that sample. So let's see if these are erasable. They may or may not be. But these labels are PVC. You get 80 of them. They are approximately 3 by 2 inches and 7 designs. You can see all the designs there. So I'm going to use the small white marker, and we'll be able to see if these are erasable. This label is dry, but this one is not. I can still see a little bit where the ink is pooled, and running my finger over it, it doesn't erase. Now I touched it before it was dry. You guys didn't see that on camera, so that's why that's a little bit lighter, but you can see here where I didn't touch it. The ink is smooth, but it's not erasing, and I'm putting quite a bit of pressure down on this. Now, what I'm curious about is if this is actually erasable, so let's see. Oh, it is. Oh, that's awesome. Now, there's a little bit of ghosting left behind, but it is erasable. Like if you do change, if you use these in your kitchen and you change your canisters, and actually some of that ghosting is starting to disappear. So it might just be while it's wet. So that is it from me, guys. I will have links to these products in the description box down below. Also, Chalkola has provided some discount codes for you guys if you're interested in these markers. Also keep an eye out because in the next week or two, I'll be posting a project using these markers. So anyways, like I said, that's it from me, guys. Thanks for watching.